new architecture, 5nm, and more efficient? Will this 7700X be AMD's new mid to high-end powerhouse? Let's find out! Hey tech people, Tan here. I received this new CPU on Friday evening, so I don't have much time until Tuesday's embargo review, so pardon me for this rush review. The 77X is 8 cores and 16 threads. It has a base clock of 4.5 GHz and a max boost of 5.4 GHz. With the 5nm manufacturing process, AMD claims it's more efficient and better than Zen 3. Lisa Su also says that it will crush the competition. The 77X and its siblings now feature a very unique curved design and is now an LGA or land grid array and no longer the PGA or pin grid array. All 17-18 pins are now found on the motherboard socket and not on the bottom of the CPU. You don't have to worry about any bent or broken pins on your new Zen 4 CPUs. I'll have this CPU go up against its 8 cores parent, the 5800X, as well as Intel's current mid-range boss, the i5-12600K. For test setups, the 77X will sit inside MSI's new X670E Carbon, as well as feature the new G-Skill Trident Z5 Neo RGB. The RAM only operated at 4800 MHz, which I will explain why in the later part of the video. For the 58X, I put it inside the ASUS ProArt X570 Creator, the 12600K inside the ASUS Strix Z690-E, DDR4 RAM for the former, and DDR5 RAM for the latter. Graphic card of choice, the RTX 3080 Ti. For our first game, it will be CSGO, our mainstay to test single-core gaming performance. The 77X clearly beat out the competition on 1080p. It is 60 frames faster than the 58X and almost 100 frames faster than the 12600K. At 1440p, however, the 77X is faster, although the gap is not as big as compared to when it was at 1080p. Okay, next we have 3 Ubisoft titles, the first one being AC Valhalla. The gap between the 3 CPUs are not great, especially for that on 1440p. But if you have to be really detailed, the 12600K is faster than the 58 and the 7700X. Our next game, Watch Dogs Legion. The first one being RTX and DLSS off. At 1080p, the 77X is very slightly faster than the 58 as well as the 12600K, but at 1440p, the 12600K is faster than the 77 and the 58. On RTX Ultra and DLSS quality, again, same situation, the 77X is faster than the 58 and the 126, although the differences between the 3 CPUs are not very big. Okay, our third Ubisoft title, Far Cry 6. Yep, we finally see a difference here. The 77 is faster than the 58 and the Intel 12600K. Very good sign, at least there's a slight difference for Far Cry 6 compared to Watch Dogs Legion and AC Valhalla. And let's now go on to our favorite final title, Cyberpunk 2077. The first one, similar to Legion, RTX and DLSS off. Very interesting, kind of weird right now. The 77X loses out to the 58 as well as 12600K. I do not know why. We also see the same scenario in RTX Ultra and DLSS quality. The 77X is slower than the 58 as well as the 12600K. If you guys have any comments as to why there's not much difference or why the 77 is slower than the other CPUs in Cyberpunk, perhaps you can write down in the comments below. Okay, we are done with the disaster that is gaming benchmarks. Let's now carry on to the place where this CPU truly shines, and that is productivity. First, our favorite stress tester, Cinebench R23. The 7700X clearly beats out the competition, scoring more than 19,000 points as compared to the 12600K and the 5800X. And we are not done. As you have seen in our CSGO benchmark, the single core performance on the 7700X is also way faster than the 12600K and a 5800X. We also see the same result in our next test, that's V-Ray. The 7700X is 200 points faster than the 12600K and the 5800X. Likewise, in our final test, that's Blender, the 7700X clearly beats out the competition again, scoring almost 50 points more than the 12600K and the 5800X. Okay, the 77X is impressive. It does pretty, okay in gaming, but it truly shines in productivity. And that's not including what a higher RAM overclock may do to its performance. Okay, you may be wondering why I ran the RAM at 4800 MHz. It's because I can't get the RAM to run at its rated overclock speed of 6000 MHz without the BIOS crashing. I think it's similar to the 12th gen review. A BIOS update is required to run the DDR5 RAM at its rated overclock speeds. But that will be for another video, so make sure to smash the subscribe button for that. However, all not is sunshine and rainbows. Why do I see more than 90 degrees? On this CPU, the average of 65 is okay, but a consistent 90 plus during Cinebench is definitely not okay. It's very interesting because the 77X consumes less power than the 58X and the Choke 600K while still maintaining its max boost clock. I do not know if there's any issue with hardware info 64 or this CPU is just shockingly, crazily hot. So, do I recommend this CPU? If you are, like myself, using a Ryzen 2000 or 3000, go for it if you have the money. But if you have a Ryzen 5000 or the Intel 12th Gen, it's probably maybe not. For a CPU that does okay in gaming compared to Ryzen 5000 or Intel 12th Gen, forking out money for this 77X may be hard to swallow. The price versus performance does not really shine here because every money counts when you're in the mid to higher end. But if you are a creator, you can decide if you want to take advantage of this higher clock speed and higher performance uplift. The multi-core and single-core results we got clearly makes 7000 stand out in this aspect. However, do remember that Ryzen 7000 requires a new motherboard and DDR5 RAM. If you are in the mid-range, I'm going to repeat again, every money counts. I do not have the prices for these X670E motherboards, but having Gen 5 PCIe M.2 and the other awesome features that we see will clearly add on to the prices of these new motherboards. Likewise, DDR5 RAM, like this soon to be released Z5 RGB, is still very expensive. Perhaps a better option would be to wait. The hopefully more affordable B650 motherboards will come out in October, and we can also hope that DDR5 RAM prices will drop next month. And of course, there's still that weird blazing 90 plus degree issue on this CPU. To sum it all up, Ryzen 2000 and 3000 users, go for it if you have the money. Ryzen 5000 and Intel 12th Gen users, wait. But if you want to take advantage of the high clock speeds and performance uplift, throw your money, get this new CPU, and don't look back. So a lot of late nights and rush work went into this review. If you'd like to show some appreciation, make sure to smash the like button and come back for more awesome tech content from Real Matan. So with that, goodbye and good night.